Let me start by saying that being dead was the most peaceful time of my life. No politics, no backstabbing, no people begging me to save their villages or curse their enemies or attend their terrible dinner parties. Just silence, just darkness, just me and my very comfortable grave for 16 years. Then some idiot performed a resurrection ritual. I woke up naked in a muddy field outside a village I didn't recognize. My body was younger, maybe 20, maybe 25, and my hair was somehow longer than before I died. The resurrection sigil was burning on my chest like a fresh tattoo, and standing over me, holding a sword to my throat, was the last person I wanted to see. Myung Jae-won. He was older now, 37, maybe 38. His face had lines that weren't there before. His hair was streaked with gray, but his eyes were the same, sharp, judgmental, and currently filled with murder.
Sung-hyun, he said. His voice hadn't changed either. Low, steady, the voice of a man who'd spent 16 years regretting not killing me the first time. Jae-won, I replied. Nice sword. Is it new? He pressed the blade closer. Explain why you're alive. I don't know. I was dead. I was enjoying it. Some idiot, probably you, honestly, dragged me back. I looked down at myself. Still naked. Mud everywhere. Could you at least give me some pants before you interrogate me? It's cold. Jae-won's eye twitched. It was the most emotion I'd seen from him since I'd known him. All right, here's what you need to understand about me and Jae-won. I was the Ghost King. That's what they called me. The most powerful dark cultivator of my generation. I commanded spirits. I raised the dead. I won battles by unleashing armies of vengeful ghosts that ate through enemy lines like paper. The cultivation world hated me, feared me, wanted me dead. Jae-won was the one who killed me. He was the righteous sword, the hero, the golden boy of the cultivation clans. He'd spent 3 years hunting me down, and when he finally caught me, he ran his sword through my chest and watched me crumble into dust. It was a good fight, fair, even. I didn't hold a grudge. He was doing his job, and I was doing mine. We were enemies. That's how it worked. But here's the thing Jae-won never knew. I wasn't the villain he thought I was. The ghosts I commanded? They weren't random victims. They were people who'd been murdered by the very clans Jae-won was protecting. Soldiers, scholars, children. The cultivation world had a dark underbelly, and I was the only one willing to expose it. My methods were extreme. I don't deny that. But I wasn't evil. I was angry. And now I was back, naked, in a field, with the man who'd killed me standing over me with a sword. This is fine, I muttered to myself. Everything is fine. Jae-won gave me pants. Not out of kindness, out of practicality. He said he couldn't question a naked man without losing his dignity. I said his dignity was overrated. He threatened to cut out my tongue. I said that was kinky. He stopped talking to me for an hour. The pants were too short. The shirt was too tight. I looked like a scarecrow dressed by a blind monk. I followed Jae-won to his camp, where a group of young cultivators stared at me like I was a ghost. Which, to be fair, I had been. He's the Ghost King? One of them whispered. He's short, another whispered back. I turned to him. I can hear you, and I'm average height. You're shorter than Master Myung, the first one said. Everyone's shorter than Master Myung. He's a freak of nature. Jae-won's sword appeared at my throat again. Keep walking. I'm walking. See? Walking. Here's what Jae-won told me over dinner. Something was killing cultivators. Not in battle, in their sleep. They'd go to bed healthy and wake up dead,
with no wounds, no poison, no cause of death.
The only common factor was that all the victims had been part of the original campaign against me 16 years ago. Someone is targeting the people who fought you, Jaewon said. The evidence points to your disciples, your followers, people who want revenge for your death. I don't have disciples, I said. I had allies. There's a difference.
Semantics. It's not semantics. My allies were victims of the clans. They fought because they had no other choice. If someone's killing your people, it's not because of me. It's because of what your people did to them. Jaewon's jaw tightened. You always had an excuse for everything. I didn't have excuses. I had reasons. You just never listened. We stared at each other across the campfire. The young cultivators had retreated to their tents, probably sensing that the tension between us could ignite at any moment. Help me solve this, Jaewon said finally, and I'll let you go back to your grave. A tempting offer, but why would I help you? Because if you don't, I'll kill you again, and this time, I'll make sure no one can bring you back. I considered my options. Option 1, refuse, get killed, maybe stay dead forever. Option 2, help, maybe get killed anyway, but at least get some entertainment first. Fine, I said, but I want 3 things. 1, no more sword at my throat. 2, I get to talk to the victims' families. 3, you stop looking at me like I'm a monster. I never looked at you like a monster. You literally killed me. That was business. I laughed. I couldn't help it. Jaewon's face went through 17 different emotions before settling on annoyed. Fine, he said. Agreed. The investigation took 2 weeks. We traveled from clan to clan, village to village, interviewing widows and orphans and terrified survivors. Jaewon was efficient and cold. I was not. I held hands with crying mothers. I played with children who'd lost their fathers. I told jokes that made people laugh even when they didn't want to. You're too soft, Jaewon said one night. You're too hard, I replied. These people lost someone. They need comfort, not interrogation. They need justice. They need both. And right now, they trust me more than they trust you. Jaewon was quiet for a long time. Then, why did you really do it? 16 years ago, why did you become the Ghost King? I looked at the stars. They were the same stars I'd seen from my grave. Cold, distant, beautiful. Because the clans killed my family, I said. My parents, my little sister. They accused them of demon worship, executed them in front of the entire village. I was 12 years old. I watched them die. Jaewon went very still. The ghosts I commanded weren't random, I continued. They were the victims of the clans. Every single one. I wasn't raising an army. I was giving the dead a voice, a chance to finally be heard. Why didn't you tell me? You wouldn't have believed me. You were too busy being the hero. He didn't deny it. He didn't apologize either. But something shifted in his expression. Something that looked almost like guilt. We found the killer 3 days later. It wasn't my ally. It wasn't a vengeful spirit. It was a man named Hwang Ji-hoon, a cultivator who'd been part of the campaign against me. He'd been secretly poisoning the other survivors with a slow-acting curse that looked like natural death. Why? Jaewon demanded, his sword at the man's throat. Hwang laughed. It was an ugly sound. Because they knew what I did 16 years ago. When we captured that village, the one where the Ghost King's family lived, I wasn't just following orders. I was the one who lit the fire. Oh, I felt the ground shift beneath my feet. I killed his family, Huang continued, looking at me. And I enjoyed it. The way they screamed. The way they begged. I was 17. It was the best night of my life. Jae-won's sword trembled. His face was white. You knew, I said. Not to Huang, to Jae-won. You knew, didn't you? That's why you hunted me so hard. Not because I was evil. Because you felt guilty. I didn't know the details, Jae-won said. His voice cracked. It was the first time I'd ever heard it crack. I knew there was misconduct, but I thought... You thought I was the problem. I laughed. It came out hollow. You always did. I walked over to Huang. He was still smiling, even with a sword at his throat. You killed my family, I said. You lit the fire. You heard them scream. I did. Good. I turned to Jae-won. I'm not going to kill him. That would be too easy. I want him to live. I want him to stand trial. I want everyone to know what he did. And I want the clans to answer for protecting him for 16 years. Jae-won stared at me. You're not going to take revenge? Revenge is for people who have nothing left to lose. I looked at the stars again. I have my closure now. I know the truth. That's enough.
Huang was executed 3 months later. Not by me, by the clans, who couldn't hide their corruption any longer. The trial was public. The testimony was damning. And for the first time in 16 years, the cultivation world was forced to confront its own darkness. I didn't go back to my grave. Jae-won didn't make me. You could stay, he said after the trial. We were standing on a hill overlooking the village where I'd been resurrected. The mud was gone. The grass had grown back. Stay where? With me. The clans owe you. I owe you. He looked at his feet. I was wrong about you. 16 years ago, I was wrong. I'm sorry. I'd waited 16 years to hear those words. I thought they'd feel like victory. Instead, they just felt like relief. Apology accepted, I said. But I'm not joining your righteous crusade. I'm not becoming a hero. Then what will you do? I don't know. I sat down in the grass. After a moment, Jae-won sat down too. Maybe I'll travel. Help people who can't help themselves. Be annoying on purpose. You're already annoying on purpose. I know. It's my best quality. Jae-won laughed. A real laugh. It was the first time I'd heard it, and it was worth the 16 years of waiting. I'm not saying I love you, I said, because that would be weird. You killed me. I was dead for a decade and a half. That's not a meet cute. Agreed. But I don't hate you anymore. And I think I'd like to see where this goes. Jae-won turned to look at me. The sun was setting behind him, turning the sky orange and gold. He looked like a painting. A stupid, beautiful painting. I'd like that too, he said. We didn't fall in love immediately. That's not how real life works. We argued, we fought. I brought up the fact that he'd killed me at least once a week. He brought up the fact that I'd destroyed 3 of his clan's ancestral homes. We called it even. But somewhere along the way, between the investigations and the dinners and the nights spent watching the stars, we became something neither of us expected. Not enemies, not allies, not even friends exactly. We became us. And that, I think, is the best ending I could have asked for. My name is Baek Sung-hyun. I used to be the Ghost King. Now, I'm just a guy who travels around, helps people, and occasionally reminds the love of my life that he literally stabbed me through the heart. He says I need to let it go. I say he needs to stop being so cute when he's annoyed.